Okay, so Brave Kids, right? Yes, this is about time. We've been waiting to do this project. We launched Brave Kids Books as an imprint of Brave Healer Productions this past fall with Kelly's beautiful book that's sitting behind her left shoulder on her shelf back there. You should get it for show and tell, Kelly. I caught one of Santa's reindeer, and it really is an amazing book. And Kelly is about to publish her second book that will be, well, Kelly, tell them the title of that one.
I captured the Easter Bunny's chicken.
So we're going to go for another holiday book, and Kelly has a whole series, up here in her mind. They're brilliant books. But when we met, we really had a mission to do some of the same things that I've been doing with Brave Healer Productions for children. It makes sense. And we wanted to write and share stories that were inspirational, that could help our kids feel brave and confident and really instill the foundation of awareness and some of the skills in them that we know they need to become amazing people in the world. I often look at my own children as some of my biggest teachers as well. And so just all of the energy and awesomeness that we've been putting together Brave Healer Productions titles with, I thought, all right, what can we do for children's books? And then we started to have a little bit of a problem, and many of you will understand what I'm talking about. And that is that when you produce and publish a book, it doesn't matter what kind of book it is, there are real hard costs. So I had a lot of people coming to me saying, yes, I want you to publish our children's book. And they had no idea how much it costs to do that. And so trying to break it to people that, this isn't a free thing or an inexpensive thing. And there's a lot of moving parts to this. And so Kelly and I have been thinking about a way to serve. So Brave Healer Productions is known for and specializes in their collaborative books. So it was like when Kelly came to me with this idea, I thought, duh, let's do this. Let's bring all of the people together that want to offer their children's stories, put it into a collection, a collaboration that can really have a lot of power together. We build badass launch teams for these books that catapult them to bestseller status. So why not do that for all of you, my children's authors, right? So now you guys get the idea there, maybe why we're so excited about this, but bringing the stories together in a collaborative book and having it be a bestseller is a really cool thing. But you want to know what's even better than that? The community that you will dump yourself in automatically by being an author in the book. So I have a much bigger mission, and the publications are a huge piece of it. But honestly, the bigger piece is to support you beyond publication in your businesses and your missions to do bigger things in the world. So that's one of the biggest benefits, and I'll talk about more of the benefits later. But I'm going to turn it over to Kelly now, who is the director of Brave Kids Books imprint for Brave Healer Productions. She's going to introduce herself, and she'll go over the summary of the information that we know that you need to know, and then we're going to open it up for questions. So all you, Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Most of you have already received the PDF that we sent out. So we're just going to do a quick run through of the basic information that you will need. So the title of our book that we want to present to you is called Brave Kids, Short Stories to Inspire Our Future World Changes. It consists of 25 short stories by 25 authors that will write a story based on the theme of bravery, being brave, or having courage. It will have 3 spread illustrations throughout the book, in the beginning, the middle, and the end, which are centered around the book's theme.
And let me pause you there for just a half a second on the illustrations. Y'all, the color, full color books are extremely expensive to print. And so a collaborative collection of stories is the better model right now for all of you, believe me. So what this is that Kelly is an amazing illustrator, and she's going to do 3 main illustrations throughout our collection. There are going to be a few illustrations in there. They're going to be in black and white, and we have some plans for, you guys heard of an Easter egg, the Easter eggs, the little clues to a puzzle or something that the kids have to figure out from those illustrations. So we even have kind of a fun other plan for those illustrations that she does, but I just wanted to give you a little extra on that. All right, Kelly, keep it going.
Okay. The submission deadline is the 5th of April, 2022. We'll announce the authors by mid to end April, and we hope that we can publish by the fall of 2022. Our project brief is write a short children's story centered around the theme of bravery, being brave, and having courage, with a maximum word count of 1,500 words or 15,000 words in the US.
1,500. 1,500. Yeah. No, we're not asking you to do 15,000. 1,500. Okay.
We'd like you to aim the story at the lower to middle grade age group. Each story submitted must include a story title, the author's publication name, a short biography of 100 words, and 1 URL author's link, example, their author's website. The story can consist of story characters that are monster, alien, made up, human, animal, but they must not be older than 12 years old. We have a lot of benefits we'd like to offer you, and so I'll pass this on to Laura.
So let's back up to age range. What do you think, what's our age range, ideal age range they're writing this story for, Kelly? So you said no older than 12, but what's the younger end?
The youngest. It can be 7 to 10. Oh, well, 7 to 11. Let's go for that, because
7 to 11.
Are the children. Yeah. These are the children that can pick up the book and actually read it themselves. It can also be with mom and dad sitting down on the bed reading the story. So ideally a younger brother of 2 or 3 younger, so 6, 5, can listen into the story and get the same message that the older brother or sister receives.
Okay, cool. Because I know there were questions about the age range of the story. And there might be some questions around word count and all of that, which you guys, feel free to ask us. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand that range that we're after in the story. And the benefits are many. We've published 27 Amazon bestsellers in the last 2 years. We know how to do that. This book will be a bestseller. We understand how to choose keywords and categories that guarantee the book is found by the perfect parents, right? Because parents are the purchasers. So your ideal client here is the grandma, grandpa, or parent or teacher who's got the pocketbook and is about to purchase that book. The story ideal reader, ideal client is the kid, but the real ideal client here is the person that we're marketing the book to. Okay. And we understand that, and we know how to create, again, the keywords, the categories, Amazon categories, all of the different research that we need to do to load our book into KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing on Amazon. And this book will also be listed on Ingram Spark, because Ingram will be the place that bookstores will come to if they want to purchase the book and have it on their shelves. They do not like Amazon, and we know that. So we'll have it listed on both platforms, and that way any contributing author could go to their local bookstore and say, hey, looky, you guys need to carry this amazing book, and they will go to Ingram to purchase those books through me, through the publisher. So that's one benefit, is there's going to be double the distribution platform, and it'll make it easy for you to have those conversations locally in your bookstores. So I talked about the expense of publishing. If you were going to be doing this on your own and trying to publish a children's book, you would have the costs, the hard costs of professional proofreading and editing, and especially for a children's book, design. The designers of a book, a normal general book with just writing in the middle, have to follow KDP and Ingram specs, and they have to do it correctly or else they get red flag messages back. We get them, right? So we hire a professional designer for this book, both the cover and the interior. There are no headaches in the publishing piece of things, and all of those costs are part of what we are paying for to make sure that's an amazing book. The full color illustrations are kinds of books are very expensive to print. So then moving forward, after you publish a children's book, you, the author, will have a wholesale cost you'll be able to purchase your books at. And because of that printing cost, it will be several dollars more than doing a black and white book. Okay. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to keep the cost down for you, because you're going to have an author copy benefit for this book, meaning you, one of the contributing authors, will be able to purchase your paperbacks at a small cost. I'm going to say it might be around $5. Okay. And we're giving you that benefit for as long as you want it. So after we publish, if you want to order 30 books and sell them at retail price, or, you know, you put your magical juju signature in there and sell your signed copies, you can sell them for whatever our retail price will be. That's going to be somewhere between $22 and $25. All right, so do the math. You can make some cash back by being a part of this. And I've had a lot of people who've been a part of our collaborations not only make up the fee that they invested to be in the project, but then make extra cash beyond that. So many wonderful, fun marketing ideas for your books, and we will support you all along the way in terms of what those ideas might be and how you can make that cash back. We set these books up as a triple win for everybody. Our authors get to enjoy a little bit of that cash benefit. So getting your book out into the world, you know, wow. So don't get me started on how alone you feel when it's just you trying to launch a book, trying to get that to Amazon bestseller, trying to figure out how to get the word out to a bigger audience. So we build a launch team as a group, and everybody is asked to find 3 to 5 friends who might want to help us launch that book. Multiply that times 25, and you have the minimum math there of how many people will be on our launch team. We now in the Brave Healer Productions collaborations have had anywhere between 80 to 100, all the way to 400 people on a launch team. That is what creates your bestseller, is the sales on that publication day. Okay, so we know how to do it. We're going to talk you through it. And one of the biggest benefits you're going to get is learning the process. So let's say you want to publish your own solo book down the road. We're going to teach you how to do this. And that's, you would pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that training, probably even close to thousands if you were to look for those courses online right now. And we're going to give that training to you as a part of this investment that you're making. So let me see what else I have listed over here. Okay, I already mentioned the community, but the community power is real in my world. And the people that come into my book projects get to know each other. They help each other build their businesses. We have free business building and networking sessions every single month through Brave Healer Productions. You will all be invited to those. You will be part of that community where are going to get really never ending benefits. You're going to get out of that what you put into it. So showing up for, we have, I think 8 or 9 more this year. The first Monday of every month, we do a session, a Zoom session for all my fellow healers and writers who are building their businesses. using their books, writing their brave words. And that's a huge benefit. This community is amazing. You all are other level aware and compassionate, just stellar human beings. And it's really fun to play in the sandbox with a group of people like that. We make things happen. You all are making things happen. So we aim to expand that community through every book project. And gosh, I mean, who knows with the children's collection, right? We haven't even sat down to brainstorm what could be coming next after with this collection of children's authors. You will all probably have some ideas, you know, Laura, maybe we do this. Maybe we do a children's book / theme summit where all of the authors get to read their stories or talk about a topic or whatever. Like there's so many ideas, you know, if you get me started, we'll be here for another hour. But whatever is going to spin off of this project, like who knows, that's part of why we're so excited about it, because we've had so much interest in the children's book thing in the first place. We know it's time. We weren't really sure how we were going to move with it, but this idea seems to be the catapult for it. So when the stories are approved and you're approved to be in the project, you will have an investment of $9.97. And once you make that payment, you're in, your spot is confirmed at that point. We're going to approve your chapter first. So we're asking you to submit that entire chapter as a story to us. It should be as the best writing you can do. However, we're going to kick off as a group after the approval process, and there will be a phase where you can write and edit, change, and fine tune that story. Okay. So we'd like it to be the best possible submission, and you will have a period of time where you'll get to tweak and improve it. And let's see, we'll have a Zoom session for a kickoff with the group of authors. We'll also have a Zoom session for launch information, like I mentioned, training you through the bestseller process and all of the things you need to know before we launch. That happens a little bit closer to launch. And right now we've got a tentative idea for fall. So it's pretty tentative right now. So we're hanging in there. We're trying to figure out our specific dates. The marketing of the book will be in many, many ways. So I could make a list here, but you all will be invited to do a group author interview on my YouTube channel as being part of the project. I'll interview you, ask you all questions about who you are, what you do, your business, the project, being brave, all the things about writing for kids, right? The YouTube channel is Brave Healer Productions. If you want to go check it out on YouTube, and you can actually watch some of the group author interviews I've done for prior collaborations and get a feel for that. We'll do graphics for you all. We're going to be all over social. As you've seen, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter are my 4 places. Brave Kids Books has an Instagram page right now. And we have plans for a Facebook page that isn't quite up yet. So Brave Healer Productions has a business page on Facebook, and that's where we're running all of the Facebook stuff for Brave Kids Books right now. If you're curious about that, you can go to Brave Healer Productions on Facebook. That page has over 11,000 likes, follows, whatever, and growing. So I put a lot of marketing and promotion on that page with our YouTube channel interviews, our graphics, all of the things that we're going to be doing to promote this book, including a group that some of you already have been in there, the launch team group that started way back in 2018 when I republished that one over my shoulder there called Brave Healing. That group is over 1,000 people now who come back and read Brave Healer titles and help us launch them into the world. So this book will for sure be marketed and promoted in there. We're going to build our launch team from some of those people as well. So that's just one other little place. Okay, Kelly, did I forget anything in terms of benefits? Anything else you want to tell them?
No, we are good. We've covered everything.
Okay, so we're going to open it up for questions now. You guys, do any of you have a question about the story, about the submission, the marketing, the launch team, anything we've talked about? Yes, Susan Ernst.
Good morning.
Morning.
I had a couple questions.
Okay.
I had the advantage of having a moment to chat with Kelly. I guess it's been probably a couple weeks ago. And I was so curious to hear what the other participants are thinking about this subject. My subject was going to be pretty heavy. I had this, it has to do with some mission work that I do in Cambodia, and it has to do with children that are rescued from sex trafficking. So I had a real heavy story in mind. And Kelly helped me to see that this might not be the right audience or project for that story. And so I've backpedaled and I'm coming up with a story that's a little more fantasized and still hits on the topic that I want to hit on, but not sex trafficking, in a much more softer way. And I just wanted to open that up because I thought it was so important that I had that opportunity to talk to Kelly about that and see what other people were thinking.
Definitely. So I want all of you to think about your ideal reader here, the audience for the story, the kid who is going to feel hopeful and inspired and excited, and their little amazing mind is going to just think of something new. You're going to spark their creativity. You're going to spark their courage. And you have to think about your ideal readers, no matter who you're writing for, whatever age group it is, and what you want them to feel. So while we will take heavier topics, you have to understand that 7 to 11 age range, and you need to ask yourselves the question, how do I want that kid to feel? Well, you don't want them to feel terrified. You'd like them to feel aware of a subject, though, educated, aware, like knowing about these things going on. However, I think that sometimes, this is in the realm of the parent and what they want the kid to understand and how comfortable they feel about their child understanding about a subject. So Kelly's suggestion is about creating the story in a little bit softer way. Remember, you're not speaking to the parent here, who could totally take that topic. They could take it, they could handle it. It needs to be for the kid, and setting yourself up with a little mission statement. And the way that I love to do this, for your chapter, is if you were going to sit down and write a letter to that 7-year-old about how you want them to feel as a result of reading the story, you're going to very quickly get into the energy and intention and feeling for that young reader. So I love to write my love letters to my readers, no matter really how old they are. So this project, it might be even more important to do that. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, I would also like to jump in with my conversation with Sue. The one thing I did suggest was, I don't know if any of you have seen Madagascar 2 or Rio. Basically, the animals get taken. So we were talking about how sex trafficking, a child could be taken. So we wanted to sugarcoat it through animals and look at themes like that. So you're going with the idea and the theme, we're just making it softer, sugarcoating it with animals, because it's been done. So you can use those type of animations out there as reference material for the work that you want to do, especially if you so passionately want to write the story that you want to write.
Awesome. What other questions do you have? All the questions are good questions today. Yeah, Meg.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Okay, so just thinking about what I would maybe be able to contribute to this. Ironically, back in 2016, I wrote a kid's book. I actually co-authored it with a colleague, and we did nothing with it probably because of all the hurdles that would be ahead of us. And at that time, I was working in public schools teaching kids mindfulness. So we were going to classrooms to teach mindfulness, which later extended to the teachers and faculty. The book we wrote is fictional and it's fun, but it's also a little bit procedural. So it's teaching them how to do mindfulness through this storytelling. And I see that I love the idea, Laura, of the mission statement and how you would want them to feel at the end. And I guess there's a lot of questions wrapped up in this. The originality of it.
I love this idea, and all of the Brave Healer collaborations are actually based on there being a tool in the chapter.
Yeah.
So for the children's story, yes, to having it be like they can follow along and actually do it from the story. Love that idea.
Okay, great. Good. That's good to know. And I love the idea of doing it like writing that love letter with that intention of what I want the children to take away after reading it. And okay, so then this comes up to the question of illustrations, because we would put our book into Story Jumper. I don't know if anybody even knows what Story Jumper was. It was just one of these like free things that you could go put in the text and then make pictures with it.
Like a template.
It was a template, and it felt like the illustrations were so integral to telling the story or making it fun. So I think that's probably why the process ended. And
we want you guys to focus on the story only for this book.
yeah,
There will be no added illustrations. It's very expensive. And so there just won't. So you have to be okay with that. There will be the 3 spread illustrations that Kelly does as a theme for the entire book together. And we're going to have to figure out how to design that in such a way that there's going to be chapters after the first one, there's going to be chapters in the middle, there's going to be chapters in the end, obviously, right? So yeah, we will figure that piece out. But this project, we will not ask you for any illustrations.
okay. So from what I'm understanding, then like the first illustration, the 1 out of 3, will kind of tie together the themes of the stories that follow it. And then the second illustration ties together the theme of the stories that follow that.
Yes, maybe. We haven't figured that out yet.
And our portion is purely just black and white. Print.
Words.
It's words.
Yes, you're submitting a document.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's one really great thing to add, is that you may have a rhythm and cadence to the words you're submitting. And remember that we want to see that with your spaces, how you intend it to be read. We can't guess that for you. So it could be in short paragraphs. You could have lines that stand alone. We would like for you to type it the way you want it seen in the book. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Yeah,
Kelly, excuse me.
I
Go
wanted
ahead.
to say, I would love to see like big words, small words, if they're whispering, have them small, if they're big, have fun with the words. I love doing that with text, because I think children see text and they see words, because this is the first introduction of words and stories into their lives. So they see in the words, they make a connection with it. Oh, that is small. Why is that small? That's big. Why is it big? And what does that mean? So the gears in their head are working. So I think it's really fun to play with it.
And we will need to pay attention to font consistency, which we will. So we will need to, let you know what to submit in so that it's consistent throughout all the stories. But yeah, you do have a little bit of creative license in how you present that, and we want you all to have fun with it. Seriously.
And Kelly, you are the illustrator.
Yes, I am. Yeah, you can go check my work out on Instagram if you would like. And also
Yes.
my book, because I illustrated my entire book. So I do like line art.
Yeah,
see if I
please
can
come
find a
over to
really nice one.
Instagram, give Brave Kids books a
There you go.
like. And also find Kelly. What's your handle on Instagram, Kelly? Just your normal handle.
KJ Kushula, KJ.Kushula.
Okay, spell
That's
Kushula for us.
That's KASCHULA. I'll type it in the chat.
Thank you. KJ.Kushula, you guys, and you'll find her page. And then you'll also find Brave Kids Books on Instagram. Meg, did you, just finishing with your questions, did you have anything else?
Yeah, just one other thing. Kelly, you had mentioned what we would submit, like the title. And then I thought you said author's publication name. Did I hear that correct? And if so, what is that?
Yes, for example, like my real name is not KJ Kushula, that's a nom de plume, but I publish under it. So I would publish under KJ Kushula. So I would put that as my publication name.
For many of you, you don't have a pen name, so you're just submitting your name that you want on the story. But so if it's different, let us know, of course. That's all on that one. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. And we're gonna do a bio. We're gonna put the bios in the back of the book. We do have a mission to allow that reader to get to know you further after they read the awesome story that you wrote. So we're gonna have a place there where they can read a little bit about you, and then you'll have your website link or whatever link you want to use so they can get with you further. Okay, so I saw Pam and Sue both. Pam, what you got?
I have two questions. One is one of my favorite books growing up was a book called Sam Bangs and Moonshine. I don't know if any of you remember that book, but it's kind of melancholy, but it's appropriate for kids. But I'm wondering if the idea that I have for my story, maybe I should hold off on and try to write something else. So I'll think about that. But
and please reach out to Kelly if you want to have that discussion. Getting some clarity that way is going to be the way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And thank you. And my other question is, in terms of, we would have to buy the books in order to sell them. What is the price that we would purchase them at?
Well, I was trying to tell you that it'll be around $5, but there's no way to give you a for sure number right now until we have the page count of the book and we can plop it into KDP and then they give us that price. Okay. But I'm going to say probably about $5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. That's all I have. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kelly.
No, I just wanted to say that regarding your stories, I mean, we are trying to help kids be brave. I've met a ton of kids out there that are really scared. So it doesn't matter what type of story you're telling them, as long as you can speak their language and contribute to the theme of bravery, courage, then you are well on your way.
We hope to have all kinds of different stories, all different kinds of topics inside of the Brave Kid topic. And so that piece of things is going to be varied on purpose. We want all of those fun ones. What other questions do you have? Anyone else? Now's the time.
I am still very early in the stages, and it sounds like maybe I need to reach out to Kelly for some guidance. I haven't written a story maybe ever, so but I'm really excited about my idea and I love this group, and thank you for everything that you've provided. Yeah, I don't even know what my question is. So
okay, I have a suggestion for your non-question. And it is outline so any book, any story, any blog, any email newsletter could have a great outline to get your thoughts going and then your writing going after that. So, what do you think you're going to write about? What's the story to this kid? How do you want that kid to feel as a result of reading it? That's like a little mission intention statement. And then you can start with an outline, Tyler. I'm going to start him here. I'm going to get them to the middle here, and then I'm going to finish it here, and give yourself just a little bit of a start with an outline. That's a great idea for your solo books, bigger books too, you guys. You know, what are the 10 chapter titles of your solo book? Just outline it and get it going. Yeah, Sue. Sue is my mom, you guys, so I'm just fooling with her by calling her Sue.
Thank you for your non-question, Tyler, because I'm feeling kind of the same way. And I'm so glad Lori mentioned the idea of the outline. I'd forgotten that part. It's like I'm all hung up with 1,500 words. It's like I can make my point in 10 words. So now I'm in this point where I'm trying to spread it and turn it into a story, and just, you know, struggling with that little piece. So the outline is a great idea. And I was wondering if there's any magic around the 1,500 words. How did you guys come up with that?
There's a little bit of, there's a little bit of magic in a strategy that I want you all to understand. And of course, a lot of children's stories rhyme, and it's poetry. That's totally cool. Some don't. Totally cool. But either way, you're helping your reader feel. And so as you're using your descriptive language, you're helping them see and feel and taste and touch and hear and smell everything. And as you're writing your story, just keeping that in mind as you go through, emotions can be described with body language. And you're showing your reader instead of just telling them everything. And these are just writing tips that I give all of my writers to try to allow the mind of the reader to be in the scene of your story. You're not just telling a story, you're showing a story, like a movie, like you're watching. I love Kelly's example of Rio. Have y'all seen the bird movie, Rio? It's such a great kids movie. But, you know, what would they be seeing if this was going to be a story that was playing out like that if you were watching it? Think of the colors and the smells and the tastes and all of that good stuff. 1,500 words is like the length of a long blog, seriously. You know what the magic there is? It's short. You complete it and you feel a sense of fulfillment because you finished the read. And it's not too long that you can't finish it. And it's also not too short. So it's just a word count that we came up with. We are in a semi-flexible zone with that. So if you want to talk us into 500 more words, you could probably do that. I wouldn't want it to be much shorter, and then the book will have a certain length, right? So we do have to keep you all in about the same word count. So if we say 1,500, give or take 500, I'm not going to accept a 4,000 word story. You really do need to keep it in 1,500 mark. But if you get with us and you say, oh my gosh, I could not delete these other 300 words. Well, all right, let us read it. We'll figure it out. We'll help you. We'll coach you through. That help a little bit? What other questions? Yeah, Chris, hey.
Hi. Well, I write typically poetry, and I wrote a poem, and it's just like a great children's book. And I'm looking into getting that published now. And I don't know, I'm like in the learning curve of it. But my concern would be I wouldn't write enough words because, when you write poetry, the words are very succinct and there's a rhythm to it. You want to stay with kind of the rhythm of it. So, yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what you think about, less than 1,500 words.
I think less is going to be a problem if you really feel complete with that submission. I don't think less will be a problem, especially if it's a poem and we can very clearly see that it is that and it's that style. No worries. Any thoughts on that, Kelly?
As long as it's about bravery and it helps the kids, get the motivations to stand up and go to school, then I'm all for it.
Other questions? Hello, is it Dre?
Drea.
Drea, thank you.
So again, I apologize for coming in late, and I apologize if you guys may have covered this already earlier, but I just wanted to get a little bit more, I guess, insight on the theme of the bravery, because I have, I guess, two ideas of storylines. I kind of drafted a children's book, well, two of them earlier, a couple years ago, on two themes. One was around my granddaughter who lost her dad, and she's 5 years old. So she kind of gave her voice around what that looks like, and the celebration that they do every year around his birth, well, his transition day, as they call it. But that, and how she kind of copes with that. And then the other is our what we call our model of what we consider family around the LGBTQIA tribute in kids and raising them, from what our family model looks like, with the kids and in that. So kind of, is there a theme around?
Oh, I want them both.
Me too.
I want them all. I want every way it means to be brave. I want them all. And we will be looking for this book to be a collection of diverse as possible stories on the theme of brave. So I truly love both of those ideas. You just made me think of something too, what Mom was saying about the topics being heavy. Little kids have to go through heavy things, don't they? And so I think it's our discomfort, not the kids. So I think that there's a way to tell a story that will really help a child, no matter what this topic is that you all are choosing. So please give them to us. Yes. Really good.
I would also like to jump in here. Sometimes it is really difficult for the parent to cover these topics. And by having a story that they can connect with through their kid about these difficult topics, then we've just bridged the gap between the two and helped a conversation between mom and kid, or dad and kid, or both. So we are really trying to help these kids by starting a conversation. And at the same time, if you think about it, we're helping the parents as well.
It brings me to what brave means in my mind in Brave Healer Productions. You know what that means to me? Feeling everything. Giving yourself permission to feel fully and be vulnerable and live from your heart space. That's what brave means to me. So there's some traditional ways of thinking about brave, but your vulnerability is your strength here. Being able to feel all the feelings is what we're after here, right? And so I know that many of you know that that's a piece of my mission. My background is in healing, 30 years of holistic physical therapy. And Brave Healer Productions was really founded on that definition of brave. So that will probably help you craft some of these amazing stories you're about to write, right? Mom?
Well, Drea's comments are so just get me right in the old heart, and it's bringing me right back, Kelly, to the original conversation that we had, to sugarcoat a really serious subject.
I actually don't think sugarcoat is really the right term for it. That's the problem.
Another word for that, because these stories, the stories that Drea just mentioned are important, serious stories that kids deal with every day, and they need to be able to deal with it in a intelligent way. And so I can see this is going to be just an interesting balance to make, again, as you said before, and I've got to brand this one on my forehead about remembering who my reader is. So creating that way that a 7 to 11-year-old can accept it and not be traumatized by the story that you're writing. It's an interesting challenge. That's all.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you. Any other questions? So are y'all excited about this? Like we are, like, we're so excited about putting these together in one place and also doing this as a group, as a community. So many of you, you've mentioned, either have written it, but haven't gotten it out in the world, or you've had it in your mind for so long to do it, but you haven't done it yet. We really, we hear you, and it's like time to stop that, to get, being paralyzed by it. And let's get these stories out there and let's get people reading them. And we're here to make that happen with you, for you, as a group, as a community. And if y'all are watching the replay, because I know there were a lot of people who said, are you going to record this? We can't wait to answer your questions. So please email Kelly, bravekidsbooks@gmail.com. If anyone here or anyone watching the replay, like some of you have said, I think maybe just a quick conversation about my story ideas, please. Kelly's waiting for that conversation. She will help you through that. She'll help you choose. I know sometimes it's hard to choose one, right? So what would be the one? What's the one for you entrepreneurs that helps bring people into your world in terms of what you stand for and what you do? So you might choose one of these stories with intention to start with here. And believe me, we're going to be doing more than one book. So if you're coming back for, your second one or your third story, we'll have space for those too. But which one would you choose, that defining moment story that actually helps define who you are doing what you do in the world, them coming to the bio in the back of the book and wanting to get to know you at that next level, and then click on that website, right? You told the story about the father, Drea, or your family, the way that your family culture plays out. Well, which one of those might you feel just a little bit stronger about as it ties into what you're doing in the world today and how you want people to come find out about you later? This is my business mind going right now too, okay? And I want you all to know that we support that big time, and we'll help you choose based on that if you're having trouble. All right, another minute or two for questions. If y'all have anything, and you know where to find us. So we have an April deadline for this story. Remember, it doesn't have to be complete, absolutely final. We're going to give you some time. We're going to get together as a group. We're going to talk about some of these things in terms of the writing itself, and you'll have time to do some final tweaks, some adjustments, etc. But if you're submitting by that deadline, then at least what that helps us do is figure out the structure of the book, which themes and stories we have submitted. It'll help us organize, but don't freak out too much about that deadline. All right, we're going to work with all of you to figure that piece out. And this children's collection is very new to us. It's a new project. We are wide open for feedback and suggestions, things you all are thinking about, maybe that we haven't thought about. Please send that our way. And we really just want to do this together and have it be the most possible success for everybody. You're welcome, Pam. Thank you, Meg. All right, going once, any last questions? Going twice? Anyone? All right, I'm going to stop the recording. I'll hang out for another minute if any of you have something you want to ask not on the recording. Thank you for watching. If you're here for the replay, get with us. bravekidsbooks@gmail.com, bravekidsbooks.com. You can find out more about our services. And we can't wait to hear from you guys. You'll be submitting to bravekidsbooks@gmail.com. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say on the recording, Miss Kelly.
So please submit your documents as a docx. Therefore, I can actually open it and read it.
Yeah, Word
It's
document.
really important.
Word document. All right. Okay. I'm going to stop this recording. Thanks for being here.